Hey YouTube, Jake here. Welcome to part 2 of our review of what happened at the Claydog Memorial this past week. As I mentioned in part 1, that was discussing the singles play, and this video will be discussing the doubles play. Don't want to keep you. Let's get into the discussion and all that. I'll tell you how things went. So with that, guys, thank you for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. See ya. Moving on to Sunday. Again, still the annual Claydog Memorial Tournament, but today's rounds are fresh starts for everyone, and I'm playing doubles with my buddy Mike Young, big dude, call him Big Mike. He just recently joined the PDGA. He's been throwing with me for years now, but I finally just recently convinced him to join PDGA. So we don't really know what his rating is. Might be might be higher than mine. We're not sure yet. He doesn't have enough rounds under his belt, but he's playing doubles with me for this weekend. I would say right from the get-go, immediately different from Saturday, is that round one. So round one is in the medium pins that I played at the end of singles on Saturday. The first things first is that the wind is up, basically just like it was at the end of round 2 for singles the previous day. So the wind's already up from the get-go, and we are starting off playing alternate shot. And you're playing doubles, but when you play alternate shot, it really kind of I shouldn't say exposes, because that sounds negative, but it really highlights the differences in styles when you and your partner approach holes differently. So I'd like to say I have a pretty solid game throwing on both sides, both backhand and forehand, and especially when it comes to the approach game, I'd much rather be like approaching with a forehand. It's just the preference. It's not that it's a bad thing one way or the other. I just like throwing both sides, and I probably lean on the forehand a little bit more than probably the average Joe does. So like my buddy Mike is very, very backhand dependent, and again, that's not a bad thing. It's just kind of different. So I set up holes differently than he would, and I would say we kind of got into trouble because of that. Again, because we're playing alternate shot. So round one, shooting a +6 for the round. So definitely not the start him and I were looking for. And we were in 4th place after round 1, and we were 5 strokes back from the lead. So we definitely had some work to do in round 2. I really think I think a combination. I was really feeling some of the fatigue from the tournament round on Saturday. I don't want to sound like an excuse, but I think it definitely took me a while to actually get the body moving. And the way the alternate shots were lining up for us is that I didn't get to take many drives off the tee box. And I feel like for singles, or when you're just playing casually on the weekend, usually the first round of the day, the first 2 or 3 holes, like those drives off the tee box are really kind of what get the body loose. And we showed up early. We were throwing shots, trying to get warmed up and all that. But I think just feeling kind of a little bit of the drain, the fatigue from Saturday had a factor, and took a little longer than normal for me to kind of get going. And in round 1 with alternate tees and the way things just kind of fell into place, I didn't get to take many drives in that first round, and I think it definitely showed. I threw some shots that I'm not accustomed to throwing, and not really that I'm not used to throwing the approaches. I just mean like I threw poorly. Like I just missed lines, I missed shots, and I honestly put Mike in bad positions. He honestly did a really good job on a number of holes, like scrambling out of the crap that I threw him into. So it's definitely different experience playing alternate shot. Even with the +6 though, we shot at 8. That's an 867 rating for the round. So that is actually equal with my rating. So again, not the start we were looking for. Him and I were both looking to attack this course. It's not our home course, but we get down there to Arlington and we play it a good amount. Like I said, not much to say. I feel like a combination of just some poor drives. I shouldn't say drives, so just some poor like fairway shots from me, and obviously, and then kind of some of my putting woes from Saturday rolled over as well. Really ended up leading to a pretty poor round. I take most of the responsibility for our poor score. Round 2, we have a shift, and we are playing championship tees. So if you guys have seen coverage by, I think it's on GK Pro, if you've watched championship coverage of the VPO, we are playing some of the super tees for round 2. So not all of them. So the super tees we were playing were hole 1. We were playing the long on hole 3, and we were playing the super tees on 12, 13, 17, and 18. I don't think they did the super tee on 17 for VPO. but there is a super tee there. I mean, it's a pretty big shot. But the difference for this one, we were playing championship tees and we were playing best shot now. So it's just like which one of us which one, Mike or myself, whichever one has the better throw or is in the better position. Those are the ones that you want to go with. And I think we did a much better in that one. We ended up shooting -2 for that round from championship tees. So feeling pretty good for the round. I guess everyone on the men's side was shooting pretty well, because even at a -2 under, the rating was only 883. So again, slightly higher than my rating, so I'll take it. And I was really, we shot 2 down, but I mean, honestly, it was still, we left some birdies out there. I know what really kind of destroyed our round is that we were making a last tournament push to try to steal this thing, and we needed to basically birdie out the last, I think we could par one, and we needed to hit like 4 out of the last 5 holes we needed to hit birdies on. And starting on hole 4, I throw a thumber up and over that puts us, it's a very makeable putt. It's maybe a 12 footer. The basket's slightly elevated, but we're up on a hill too, and we're basically even with the basket. Not the easiest of putts, but I mean, it's a pretty makeable putt for a birdie. And Mike and I both chain out like right side. I know I personally, going up for the par putt, I'm irritated, right? Because like that's supposed to be the birdie that we're supposed to go on this last run. I really think like we could have made a push at the end of this tournament to actually challenge first place. And I walk up to I kind of hurry myself up to the putt to try to put it in for par, and I throw it into the cage. And then I think Mike, I don't really know for sure what he was thinking, but I think he might have thought like I was aiming low or something like that. I really think I was low, but I think I did rush the putt, and I think he overcorrected and he threw it into the band. So we went from what was supposed to be a birdie, one of the famous birdogies, and took a bogey on that hole. I think we get a couple. We par 5, 6, and 7, and then we basically definitely after that, after hole 7, we have to birdie out to even have a chance, because the guys are playing. They're on the lead card and they're behind us. And as much as we were trying to check the PD, the live scoring for the event, we were basically like going, I think they were still ahead of us by a decent amount of strokes. We were just like, we need to birdie out if we're actually gonna have a chance at this thing. And so we ended up parring hole 8. Unfortunately we gave it a bid, but didn't connect for the long birdie putt on 8. We did birdie 9. And then hole 10 really, I think looking back, as far as the doubles tournament goes, hole 10 in round 2 is the one that sits me with the most is actually hole 17 in round 1, but I won't talk about that. The one that really got me heated was really at myself, and for the lack of confidence putting. It was hole 10 in round 2. Is that I throw up this big hyzer up, and unfortunately, like I take the hyzer a little too far on the inside, so we don't have a birdie look. But I'm up the hill, and unfortunately, like a headwind or something, like I think just turned Mike's drive. Just you know how the headwinds go and the disc flips and stuff, and just kind of goes off to Narnia. I think that happens on his drive, but I have a hyzer up the hill, and I took I like taking the inside hyzer, especially if you're on the short basket, because an inside hyzer will put you right at the pin. And even the inside hyzer, if you hit it right, you'll still have maybe a 20 footer at the long pin on that hole. My throw was a little inside, and I get caught by a tree just at the top of the hill, so I have no look for the birdie. I throw probably my worst approach shot of the tournament. I need to either throw an Annie around this tree or a hyzer around this tree. You have 2 options: either you gotta go some way around it, and I throw it right into the tree. And then Mike, crazy enough, tries to actually run an Annie putt at this thing, but unfortunately, there's this tree right in the middle, and then there's a small evergreen bush that's surrounding it, and Mike's Annie putt was, I think, on a pretty good track, but the top of the bush basically caught his disc, and it's an evergreen. Those things grab disc, you know, like nothing. So like his putter immediately gets caught in it, and so I threw a poor up shot. He tried to run a putt, and we have a makeable par putt, but our stance is awkward. We're gonna kind of take a wide straddle from where we're at to actually see the basket. And I would say, like, I'll say like one thing: my putt, when I'm in the straddle, I have good height on it, but again, I'm just a little off on the putting greens right now. So I missed the putt just slight left, and then Mike, I think maybe seeing me putt, was trying to over adjust, and then he chains out right side again, and then we end up, instead of saving par, we end up taking a bogey, and basically our tournament hopes at that point are done. The only real thing to take away from the round is that the last hole we played at hole 11 was Mike pierces one out the gap, gets us out. If you've ever played Veterans Park, this 11 is the one that has the star, you know, with the slight elevated basket with the Texas flag there. Really kind of an iconic hole. Mike throws, like, pierce it, gets us to the edge of the star, and then I actually just slowed down, took my time, and actually just delivered my best putt of the tournament to close it out and hit a nice birdie putt to end our tournament. And so, like I said, we finished that round -2 and good for an 883 rated round. But unfortunately, we just couldn't really challenge the first place team, and we take second place and lose by 4. But again, I mean, it might sound like I'm disappointed right now, and I really think I am slightly, because of how well I know the course, how well Mike knows the course. We came in going to that doubles event with really, really high expectations for ourselves, and we just didn't really meet them. So there's some disappointment there. But overall, looking at the weekend as a whole, I shot equal or better than my rating the entire weekend. First time I'd ever done that. I shot over a 900 rated round for the first time ever. I actually almost did it back to back in the singles play. I think just if I'd stayed just one less bogey in round 2, I actually would have finished over a 900 rated round. I led a tournament for the first time, you know, a big experience. I had a lot of fun. All the guys out there were super chill. All my card mates were great. So thank you guys for being awesome. Chainrack and all the crew out there put on an amazing tournament as always. Like I said, I'll be back, try to play the Fahrenheit Fling this year, and as always, I'll be if I'm in town, you know, from work and all that, I will be playing, try to play in the AM's VPO, unless I have go on a sick tear this summer, and I feel like I'm good enough and actually try to play open. We'll see. I think officially I'm going to be releasing also my in the bag video soon, so be on the lookout for that. That's gonna do it for today's again tournament summary. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see more of this, be sure to let me know in the comments below. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe and all that good jazz, and I will talk to you in the next video. See ya.